So as controversial lyrics dominate the airwaves, many are questioning whether Jamaica is facing moral decline. That discussion is years old, to be truthful. But anyway, today we're examining the matter with youth advocate and gospel artist Perry Cummings Jr. I think based on your orientation, I know where you're going to land on this. But welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Let me see if I'm right or wrong. Your thoughts?
There is a moral decay. And today is National Children's Day. It's celebrated as Child's Month. I want to put it in the context of the impact on children. I believe for this month, the theme is prioritizing children's mental health, stronger minds, stronger future. I love the theme, but the truth is, Neville, without any serious conversations about how we can truly, impact the lives of our young people in terms of their socialization, then the decay will continue. And I believe it's there. Can't hide it, and we really need to address it.
Describe the decay.
Okay. If you look at the music specifically, the type of lyrics, and as I said, it's an old conversation. We really need to try our best to communicate to our children what is right from what is wrong when it comes to consuming music. Music impacts behavior. The studies show that. You look at our schools, there has been an uptick in school violence recently. I saw right across several secondary institutions, even being captured, footage. Our children have no problems capturing footage of them bullying their peers. And when you listen to the music that they listen to, it promotes a type of behavior. I'm better than you. I'm a bad man or I'm a bad girl. It's a decline that we have to really acknowledge.
Well, truth be told, not all music promotes promote that. But isn't that what the young people like? I mean, I'm not saying this is wrong or right, but when you listen to the music on the buses, when you listen to a lot of the songs and the dances, that the youth them a jump up and down too. So why them mind go there?
Yeah, so it's true. A very good observation. It is the reality. The young people now they like that type of vibe because they see it as entertainment. But Simon, we need to redefine what is entertainment. Singing about unaliving, your fellow Jamaican citizen shouldn't be the definition of entertainment. Or me hear that I'm start bus blank, bop, bop. That is what you consider as being good lyrics. And I was just looking at the statistics and I think about it. According to what? The Child's Protection and Family Services Agency said that this year alone, 3 months into the year, over 4,000 cases have went in regarding children, abuse, whether sexually, emotionally, child labor. Just this year alone, over 4,000 cases. Socialization needs to come back to a place where, and I've said this many times, where the village is playing a very important role in that. I think there's an erosion of the village. There was a time when growing up, you people could tell me better than me, I'm still youngish, but you could remember when you didn't have to depend on parents alone to tell you right from wrong as a child. The neighbor, a good neighbor would say, pull your pants up or something like that. That type of parenting.
Well, let me come back to socialization with that parent, because the culture that we have now, some people are in the village, but they don't want anybody in the village talking to their child.
True.
Sometimes the very socialization is the cause because the parent has an attitude problem, or the parent is predisposed to violence, the parent is beating the child and passing on the norms of violence in the home. So yes, I understand about coalescing around that idea, but society has changed so drastically does that even still hold true?
Yeah, the society has really morphed into something unrecognizable for me. And the truth is, we really have to get back to what is parenting. You mentioned something important about some parents not wanting others to discipline their child or to play a role in that. But then we have to have social, intervention as well, because there is a social responsibility that we all have. We mentioned the music. You have a large platform, you have influence, you have impressionable minds, the children, they're like sponges, they soak up everything. I cannot just say, well, because the parent don't want me to have a say in how they grow, I should just say any and anything. It can affect their minds.
Yep. The outstanding Faye Ellington, in her comments about the terrible lyrics, some of the lyrics on the Hill and Gully rhythm, she said, and I quote, "Don't tell me that is the parent supposed to discipline the child," you know, because she's kind of saying what you're saying, that it is, the lyrics has influence.
The artists have right.
The artists,
yeah.
You know. So what about that? Shouldn't the parents be the person who say, no, don't listen to that, you can't go to that dance, do this and don't do that?
But the artists themselves will tell you, I've heard many of them say, we're not making this for children, or we're not trying to be role models to your child.
True. I've heard a very popular dancehall artist said that, you know, their children don't listen to his music. But the reality is, and the reality we cannot escape, you may not see it as your responsibility to help grow a child, but you're out there disseminating this type of lyrics and this type of, you know, Auntie Faye was very right. Yeah. The truth is, the Hill and Gully rhythm is beautiful, by the way. I should probably go on the rhythm too. But the reality is, when you have artists, and we already have this oversaturation of lewd, just downright crass music already, I think we can have something different.
I want to go back to something that Sim said earlier about some parents don't want you looking after my child. Should we not move away from this village thing? Because whether we like it or not, it doesn't happen. Whether we like it or not. Yeah, it is ideal. It should. It just happened with me. I kick up box juice and go home and I hear somebody ball out. So I say, never you mash up your school shoes. I will tell your mother, it don't happen again. Should we still be trying to hold on to that? Or should we say, well, this is it. We have to do something different to get our youngsters in the right space?
A number of things can happen at the same time. I don't think the way forward, the modus operandi should never be to do away with the village. A lot of us can attest to it, was the village, including the church, including school, including that good neighbor, the community groups. It is the village that played a very important role in many of us becoming good contributing factors to society. So
I feel like there are some places in Jamaica where village still obtains.
Probably more in the rural.
Probably more in the rural area. Exactly,
you know?
exactly.
I think so. By the way, I was looking at one of the questions here, and I remembered about this billboard. That was up in, I know it was up in Rockfort. I think it was in...
Rude boy billboard.
Yeah. And some people are saying it was too explicit, you know. Where we draw the line, because that's a business there that they want to sell a product and then put it up on the billboard so people can see it and go buy them product. And I suspect a lot of people go buy the product. They went too far?
Despite popular opinion, the gaze versus the engagement of the product is very different. Yes, you know, and there is statistics to prove that highly sexual ads don't necessarily translate into sales. You look at it, but what you remember is not necessarily the product, but the sexual imagery involved. So even from a marketing standpoint, in the long run, all you remember is just legs being in the air and a big black bottle between the legs of a woman. It went too far at Neville. It was vulgar, and I do believe, yes, the branding may appeal to a certain audience. It could have been toned down because we have other products that attracts the same type of audience, but it was not that explicit. It was more subliminal. And again, think about the children having to see that, the impressionable minds. Is this okay as a little girl? Is it okay for me to, when I grow older, to have my legs in the air like that too? You know, so I think they went too far with it. They had to take the signs down. And I'm happy that we're in a very conscious society, that there was an outcry against it. It tells me that Jamaica is still alive and well when it comes to our mores. And I appreciate that, because we really need a culture that is alive and is willing to still hold on to certain values.
We're from here, Perry. What do we do now? Is it too far gone? What areas do we address to try and see if we can salvage or bring some things back?
We're not too far gone. You know, the late Jesse Jackson, Rev, said, keep hope alive, and I'm keeping hope alive, because I do believe now is not the time for us to just condemn people, but to use this as an opportunity to say, how can we collaborate now? Media personalities, artists, the church. Harvard did a study, and it proves that, children who would go to church weekly, 33% of them are less likely to become, menaces to society. They tend to not do drugs. They tend to avoid, early sexual activity. I think we need to strengthen the social institutions some more. Send our children back to Sunday school and Sabbath school.
By the way, back to the music. What do you say to the selectors who play these songs? Because they also want to be popular. They also want people to say, no, man, I love the selector, them and them rhythm, them on run. Yeah. So do the selectors have an issue?
Well, the truth is, the selectors are doing it for business. It's what's good for business for them. But hey, they have to also recognize that they have a responsibility, take a stand, and really make a decision if what I am doing, is it really benefiting society or is it doing...
But they're getting listeners.
Well, I hear a lot of selectors actually speaking out against the rhythm as well.
Yeah, I heard...
Ron Bushed stood up.
Yeah.
By the way, you really going to go on the rhythm?
Should I, Simone? Should I?
Yes, jump on.
Jump on?
Or not.
Or not?
I don't know. We'll talk about stuff, so we have to go now. Youth advocate and gospel artist, Perry Cummings Jr. Follow him at Perry in Christ. What's coming up?
It's Patois being unfairly stigmatized. Stick around for that conversation. Soak up. Stay with us, please.